Balanced news in high definition. The Fox 19 Morning News.
Welcome to the Fox 19 Morning News at 7. I'm Jackie Jane.
And I'm Rob Williams. You can see it there on the bottom of your screen. We have dozens and dozens of school closings and delays and other information running at the bottom of our screen.
Yeah, and that's mainly because of the bitterly cold temperatures. We're talking, I think we're at 4 degrees the last time I checked with Frank.
And when you factor in the wind chill, it's well below that. Frank has a forecast coming up. In the meantime, though, we have breaking news for you out of Forest Park. Firefighters called to an apartment fire overnight. It happened on Northland Boulevard at about 1 this morning. Some residents and firefighters kept warm at a clubhouse. No injuries being reported, but we're hearing that 6 families have been forced from their home.
Now to your winter weather coverage, and you just saw some firefighters fighting in these terribly cold conditions. So we're going to check in with Fox 19's Dan Wells and see how he's dealing with it and how people are protecting themselves.
Yeah, Dan has that hood up and a scarf on and thick gloves. He's advising you to do the same.
Absolutely. Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Jackie. I can tell you we were up with those firefighters in Forest Park for so much of the morning, and they were dealing with bitterly cold temperatures. I don't want to be dramatic this morning, but I took my sweatpants. We keep an extra pair of pants just in our trucks, just in case. I put a little bit of water on them just to see how fast it would freeze in these elements. This is 10 minutes. So getting back to kind of the story at hand, when we were up with those firefighters, they were telling me as they were fighting the fire, dealing with water in temperatures that we're experiencing now, it definitely becomes dangerous. I caught up with a fire captain about what his crew was dealing with. Take a listen.
Very traumatic. On top of worrying about taking care of the building and the occupants, we also have to worry about ourselves and making sure that we're not overdoing ourselves. As you can see, we're frozen solid to the bone. So at the same time, we got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves as well. And I'm a captain at Forest Park, so I got to make sure my crew is adequate too as well. I think this ended up being a 2-alarm fire, which we called in more people. Normally it probably would have been a 1-alarm, but we called in the extra people to backfill our people so we can take a break as well.
I'm not sure if you guys noticed at home or not, but his turnout gear was completely frozen this morning. So we can tell you those firefighters were headed back to the fire station to warm up and get a new dry pair of clothing on. With that said, we do want to give you some tips this morning if you happen to be out in these elements. So take a look at this graphic. It really is important information, especially for your head and extremities. Now, your head should be covered at all times because 40% of your body heat can be lost when your head is exposed. Fingers, toes, hands lose their dexterity at temperatures below 59 degrees. We are dealing with much lower than that this morning. And remember to put dry gloves on. If your gloves get wet, they really are of no use to you. So again, all of that information can be found on our website at fox19.com. Live downtown, Dan Wells, Fox 19 Balance News.
Hey, Dan, when it comes to reporting on the elements, this is nothing new for you, but this is probably like one of the colder mornings you've been out in, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I talked to Steve Horstmeyer about this yesterday, and I know Frank would say the same thing. We have not seen temperatures like this in the tri-state for about 20 years. You know, I'm an Erie, Pennsylvania guy, so cold weather is nothing new to me, but just the wind and the wind chill on top of 0-degree temperatures makes it cold for anyone out here, so do be careful.
And a little what for Erie, Pennsylvania. Dan Wells, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dan. We'll check in with a live report from Kelly Rippon in just a couple minutes here, but first we want to look at your forecast this morning.
Yeah, Frank has a sweater on.
Got the sweater. I even have, you can't see, I got long johns on too underneath these pants. You're ready for
Good,
it.
yeah, keep those covered up, please.
And I have the flannel undergarments on too, so we're good. 3 minutes after 7 now, everybody. Here's the deal. Layers, 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 and more layers. It's common sense stuff. We don't got to tell you that. I hope we don't have to tell you that. Until Tuesday, 5 o'clock, we've got this wind chill warning. 25 to 35 degrees below zero is what it's going to feel like. And all morning long, it really has been something to watch. We started at 13 degrees when we went on the air at 4 a.m. We're down to about 2 degrees now. So it's been a gradual fall. We've seen some gradual clearing too. Look at that. 1 degree right now down in Fountain Square. 10 below Indianapolis. As Indianapolis goes, so does Cincinnati. I've been watching this temp, and each time it falls, ours falls as well. So we'll continue to fall through the morning hours. Wind chill factors right now. 21 below Middletown is what it feels like on the skin. How cold is it? when we put together our weather computers, these are called, in graphic land, contours, right? The colors, they change with a different shading of temperatures. If it's up to 70 degrees, this will be orange or red. We're actually out of the realm of our color contours once you get about 21 below. So that's how chilly it is. 21 below right now, Middletown. Feels like 19 CVG. Those winds are stiff. 20 CVG out of the west and north, Middletown, 22. Air temperatures already down to 3. Lunken, 2 CVG. These numbers will not rise at all. So right around this 7 a.m. hour, give or take a degree, we're right there at about a goose egg, a couple flurries around. At noontime today, 4 below. By 5, we're at 6 below with wind chill factors at 28 below. The last time Mr. Clinton was in office, that's right. And on this date, back in 1996, he approved resumption of a lot of government offices and operations after the shutdown and after the budget crisis of about 4 months. So there you have it, a little history lesson on the coldest trend that we've seen in about 20 years. Here now, Denise Johnson, tracking our traffic, sponsored by CarStar. Denise.
Well, Frank, we're starting to see some of those problems pop up around the tri-state and dealing with a couple of accidents. The one on southbound 71 right around 275 has been cleared, but we're still dealing with the problem of a car fire. Now that is on westbound 275 between the airport and Hebron. So you can see you have slow traffic in that area as well. So if you're heading to the airport, allow a little extra time. Now, we've been talking about the slick roads and icy patches all around the tri-state. Westbound 275 right around Colerain. Now, I was trying to point this out. It's a little bit more visible. We can take a live look outside. I've got the camera pulled up there just to give you an idea. Can we jump out to the big shot there if you guys can pull that up just so you can see it a little bit better? It's a little more clear without anything in the way. So again, there's a car heading in that direction, or the westbound direction, hit an icy patch, is now off into the median. So this is a problem that I'm afraid we're going to see a little bit more as the volume of traffic picks up as well. So you can see plenty of emergency vehicles on the scene. So again, part of that is just be aware there are plenty of icy patches out there. The interstates look good. Patches of them look very, very dry, or areas completely look very dry. Just be very careful because it is slick out there. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Good advice. There are some people who have very few options when it comes to avoiding the cold.
Yeah, Fox 19's Kelly Rippon joins us from Queensgate with more on how the city is trying to help the homeless. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Rob and Jackie. We're very lucky here in the city of Cincinnati to have many resources for the nearly 2,000 people that come through the door of the drop-in center each year. Now, they are currently housed at the old location at 12th and Elm, and they will be there for the next 15 to 18 months until they move here to Queensgate at the former Butternut Bread Factory. To tell you a little bit about their new facility, right now they are still in the programming and design phase of this project. But the new facility is at least twice the size of what they have right now. It's about 3 acres and 60,000 square feet that they will have to work with and customize to make it fit to the best ability. And also, they will not just be removing equipment from the building. They have to gut this building completely. They're going to leave the exterior walls remaining, and they're going to customize the inside of this to also allow outside resources to have facilities inside this building to allow them to help get the homeless off the streets, back on their feet, and back into our community. We are live in Queensgate this morning. Kelly Rippon, Fox 19, Balance News.
All right, Kelly, thank you very much.
Well, Dennis Rodman's basketball diplomacy is moving forward. What he's doing today, next.
I just feel like if we were to get that first playoff win, it would have felt much better, but we still got a long way to go.
The Bengals are out of the playoffs. Pro Bowl receiver A.J. Green talks about the loss and Andy Dalton. That's next.
Welcome back, 7:10 now. It is chilly outside. You can actually see the camera shaking up a little bit. It is windy out there as well. That is definitely going to make it a lot colder. I know when I walked out the door this morning.
It's like a slap in the face.
Yeah, it was literally.
And this is where it gets interesting. Frank says it's going to be even colder tomorrow.
Oh,
His forecast coming up.
Well, happening today, former NBA star Dennis Rodman is heading to North Korea. Rodman will be joined by a couple of former players, the Hall of Famer moving forward with a basketball game with ex-NBA players. Rodman calls the game basketball diplomacy. He will announce who will be playing in the next couple of days.
Man, we play as one, man. So, you know, a lot of things I could do better as a receiver. So.
Rivers.
Ooh.
Yeah, A.J. Green pretty much sums it all up. The team falling apart at home against the Chargers. Final score, 27-10. It's the 5th straight win for the Chargers, who will play next in Denver.
Hard to hear him talk.
I know.
He's so
sad.
disappointed,
Yeah. You know, a family fighting to keep a 13-year-old girl alive wins a major victory. The latest coming up next.
And a man live tweets a high-rise fire in New York City. We've been reporting on this story, but we'll actually have his tweets and the investigation coming up next.
Now, with the Fox 19 mobile app, you'll never have to be without Fox 19 News. From fox19.com to text and email alerts for breaking news and weather. Fox 19 News, it's all right here in the palm of your hand. Sponsored by Shawnee State University, where standout students receive an outstanding education. Visit shawnee.edu to find out more about our academic programs. Fox 19 Storm Tracker Weather is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.
That's right, we go Going back to 1996, the last time we were this cold. Okay? Kiss.
Rob is so humming this song right now.
He loves this one. Seal, A Kiss from a Rose was the record of the year.
Takes me back.
And the song of the year.
Yeah.
By Mr. Seal.
That's how long it's been
Yeah.
since it's been this cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to-
Seal was on the radio.
And who was playing Batman?
He's no longer on the
he's
radio.
not.
George Clooney.
Was George Clooney
Yeah.
Batman then?
Yeah.
Yeah. And his show ER was #1
There you go.
this time.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been
Long
quite
time
a...
ago.
And that was a flop. That was a flop, wasn't it?
It was a bad one.
yeah.
It was
Oh, come
not
on.
good.
He was at least hot in it.
It was a flop.
Well, George
They put-
Clooney, I mean, yeah.
It was a
Hey, you
huge
put
flop.
me in that Batman suit, that would look good. Come on.
Right? There's like some corset in there or
Yeah, I know,
something. It's
something.
like the chiseled
Cinching it all
muscles.
together.
Yeah, I tell you
Okay,
what.
Frank in a
Here's the
Batman
thing.
suit.
Here's the thing. You read on the bottom of your screen, it says 3 degrees. It's going to be even colder tomorrow.
Yeah, well, tomorrow morning, about 10 below without a wind chill.
That's the actual air temperature, yeah.
Today, we'll be at about 7 below for a good portion of the day. We've got wind chill factors already this morning. Check it out right here at our international airport. 10 below earlier this morning, now 19 below.
Oh, wow.
That's what it feels. And this isn't, a quick win. This is going to be prolonged over the next 24 to 36 hours. So you may be thinking, the roads are fine. I mean, we have some of these areas with slick spots popping up, but you may be thinking, why are kids off school? It's the cold air, everybody. That's why we're off school today. 2 degrees is your air temperature right now under a mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon hours today. It's 1 Batavia now. Good morning, Georgetown. You're at 2. Looking this morning, Greensburg at 3 below, 2 rising sun, 2 Falmouth. You factor in a wind this morning. Here's your wind chill factors. 15 below Fairfield. It's 21 below Batavia this morning. 19 below in and around Falmouth. 20 below Alexandria. Bottom line, with that wind chill warning in effect over the next 2 days until 5 o'clock tomorrow, with 7 below for temperatures this afternoon, feeling like 25 below, and then 35 below by tomorrow morning. Folks, this is nothing to fool around with, even with the kids being off school. It's not a day to play outdoors. Radar and satellite this morning. Check it out. Notice that clearing sky back to our west. 10 below Indianapolis. We're officially at 1 here at home. Clearing skies continue. Temperatures will not warm, even with sunshine. As that jet stream is taking a dip far to the south, follow your timestamp top of your screen. Notice we're not looking at a lot of precipitation. No snow, sleet, freezing rain next 2 days. Next chance for a low precipitation coming in here late Wednesday night. It's going to be out ahead of a warm front, so the precipitation aspect going to mix in with that colder air. Notice right here going into Wednesday evening. Could give us some light snow showers Wednesday night into Thursday morning, dropping those conditions down to a little bit of slick conditions for Thursday morning. Until then, we are just cold. Flurries today, 7 below, 8 tomorrow after morning lows at 12 below. 28 then on your Wednesday. I do look at a few late snow showers Wednesday night and Thursday morning, so we could see some slick conditions. And then we start warming it up fairly nicely. Getting into Friday at 40 degrees, 45 on Saturday, 50 on Sunday. I mean, talk about a shock to your system. Yesterday afternoon, we were in the low 40s early on before that rain started moving in and temperatures started to fall. I mean, we're a good 42, 44 degrees colder today. I mean, that is a sharp contrast, folks. 19 after 7. Here's Denise Johnson now. She's tracking your morning commute. Sponsored by CarStar. Denise.
Well, I know I didn't know what to think or expect this morning on the roads. And again, they're looking better than I expected, especially after all the rain and the drop in the temperatures. But we have dealt with a couple of problems around the tri-state. Over on 275 near the airport, between Hebron and the airport, there is a car fire in that area. So you can see traffic is slow. So if you're heading in that direction, it is past the airport. But again, that could cause you a little bit of a delay exiting off onto that airport exit. Also, westbound 275 at Coleraine, there was a car off of the road into the median there. They have cleared that out of the way, so that's good news. That's just one example of some of those icy patches around, isolated icy patches on the interstates. They all look pretty good. The roads and the interstates look pretty dry, but again, just a heads up. And before you head out the door, just maybe stop and fill up your gas tank, grab your cell phone, and throw a blanket in, just in case you do wind up having problems. At least you can stay a little warmer and contact help if you need it. It's 7:19. Back to you.
Denise, thank you very much. New this morning, the 13-year-old girl in California is in a new facility. Jahai McMath was placed in an ambulance last night, but we're not sure to where she was taken. McMath had been on life support after getting her tonsils removed. Doctors said McMath has no chance of recovering.
Happening today, investigators will be on the scene of a plane crash in Aspen, Colorado. 1 person killed and 2 people hurt. The private plane was flying from Mexico to Tucson, Arizona. The plane went off the right side of the runway, flipped over, and burst into flames, causing delays at the airport.
Well, once they told us we were going to have to wait 5 hours for the shuttle, then it was a lot of cussing on the plane and people were very angry.
The FAA saying weather may have been a factor.
And new information about a deadly high-rise fire in New York City. Take a look at the video, pretty scary. The fire began at an apartment on the 20th floor. Wow. It's not clear how it started. The fire killing one person and injuring 10 others. Investigators believe he died after being trapped in a stairwell.
The smoke here was like painful to your throat, and you couldn't see anything walking down the stairway, and it kept on getting worse as you went down. I was really scared. I didn't even know if I could make it.
It was scary. You just thought you were going to die.
And it's cold there, too. One man trapped in the building began live tweeting the fire, first showing this picture from his 26th floor apartment. And then 10 minutes later, he told his followers his wife, 2-year-old child, and himself were standing on the balcony.
This is frightening.
And then 3 hours later, a stairwell became safe so they could travel down to ground level.
Apparently they were trapped because at first we were like, get out, get out of there. But then our producer said that they were trapped. They had nowhere to go. So
I still don't think I would tweet it, though.
I don't think I'd be tweeting either. I think I'd be praying.
I know, exactly.
I'd be really afraid.
Something more productive. It is
Exactly.
7:22. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Just in case you didn't know, it's cold out there. Like we've been saying every 5 minutes. With the wind chill, it's well below zero outside.
Now take a look at the bottom of your screen. Dozens of school closings and delays are running on a ticker. That there is the problem this morning. The windy conditions making it feel well below zero.
An Oakland hospital is no longer caring for a 13-year-old girl. Jahai McMath is now at an undisclosed location.
And I hate talking about it. Our Bengals lost to the Chargers 27-10.
Yeah, and that's what you need to know to start your day. We'll be right back.
Balanced news in high definition. The Fox 19 Morning News.
Good morning, everyone. It is 7:25 as you get ready on this Monday morning. That is a live look, one of the snow cams there at Perfect North. And guess what? It is so cold there, that they're suspending operations in terms of people showing up to ski.
Think about going down that hill with the wind chill.
Yeah, exactly. And because of the windy conditions as well.
I mean, the other day, Don Helbig, our good friend from Kings Island, sent me a little bit of a tweet out and about, and he was talking about how if you were on the Diamondback, you would be at about 35 below zero. I mean, when you're doing something like that, yeah, you have to be smart about it.
A couple of snows on the ground.
Wow. I know, right? A lot of that's made snow. Now, they did get some nice snowfall, though, at Perfect North. Southeastern Indiana yesterday did get a little bit of accumulation.
And tomorrow's going to be colder, but we're going to warm up by the weekend, aren't we?
Weekend, about 50 degrees by the weekend.
It's all over the place, man.
Right now, it feels like 19 below.
Oh, my.
That's what it feels like on the wind chill.
Ugh.
So, want to play another round of last time it was this cold?
Absolutely. I love this game.
Last time it was this cold, check it out, 1996, the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, there you go.
Now, after yesterday, this is a little painful, but here's what will make it feel a little better.
Yeah, please, help me feel better.
You know who they beat?
Oh, did they beat the Chargers?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
Okay.
24-17, I think the score was. Or 27.
We're still bitter about yesterday, yeah.
That was just a hard. I know Frank was down there at Paul Brown Stadium, but I mean the fans were really, really upset.
I was at the Holy Grail and people were going nuts after.
The thing is, we were so close. I mean, every interception, every fumble was, in scoring range.
Yeah.
One was right in the end zone. That score should have been 35-20 at most, us with the win.
We're bummed. Talk about the cold temperatures.
That makes me happier. I hit a window. I was so upset. I went, oh, my goodness. Anyway, now I got to paint my face blue with a lightning strike on it.
Oh, boy. I forgot about your bet. Yeah.
We're going to do that later in the week, though. We'll get through the call. My face would be blue if I just stepped out right now. 2 degrees Hamilton, 3 below Lunken, or 3 above Lunken now. These are temperatures 2 above CVG, but when you factor in that wind, here's what it's feeling like. 17 below Lunken Airfield now, 18 below Hamilton. We're 14 below Batavia. What it feels like on the actual skin. So this morning, we've got a few slippery spots. We had sort of a flash freeze, a puddling, ponding on the roads overnight. Anything that was a puddle froze. But the winds blew dry a lot of the roadways, a lot of the pavement, so that's good news. So we're not looking at huge widespread icy patches, but we do have some out there. Next 36 hours, wind chills 20 to 35 below, as we've mentioned. Thursday, our next chance for a few snow showers in the morning. Wind chill factors. We're not going to track temps here. Let's track the wind. 11:30 this morning, 30 below Hamilton, 27 below Alexandria. We get into the evening hours tonight. 7:30, 28 below Patriot, 25 Brooksville, 28 below Batavia. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning by 5 a.m. Tuesday, 30 below Brookville, 29 below downtown Cincinnati. So cold this morning. Just wait till tomorrow morning. 26 below Hamilton, 24 Batavia going into tomorrow afternoon. And then Wednesday morning, a little rebound, about 5 below. So that's a little better as that warm-up starts. Your day ahead today, a goose egg at 8 a.m., 4 below at noon, 6 below at 5, a couple flurries. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds. We will see some sun today, but wind chill factors at 30 below. I don't care if it's wall-to-wall sunny. It's not going to make a hill of beans of a difference here going into the afternoon. 28 after 7. It's very tough to say appropriate things. And sometimes when I try to make up something, that made no sense. What's a hill of beans? I have no idea. But it's cold. That's why, Denise.
I do really think there is a saying, though.
There is something.
On the tri-state, we are starting to see some slowdowns on 71, 75. We've had a fair amount of problems this morning as well. Looks like we had an accident earlier on 275 right around Colerain. Looks like a new one popped up right around Hamilton. That just came up, so I'll have to check on that. As far as the rest of the tri-state goes, we were dealing with a car fire, and that was on westbound 275 near the airport. Things have cleared, so you're good to go there, so that's good news. Starting to see those delays, 71, 75, right around Kyle's on down to the bridge. At least that volume of traffic is picking up. No big problems there just yet, but again, 75 right around the Norwood Lateral, moving well both directions. And then over on 275 around Loveland, Madeira, things looking pretty good there as well. But again, there are isolated icy patches around the tri-state, so just be careful. We saw some of those problems on 275 right around Colerain, so just keep an eye open out there. 729. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Denise. New information about breaking news from Forest Park. 6 families forced from their homes after this fire at an apartment complex on Northland Boulevard. Everyone was able to make it out okay. Firefighters say the fire started in the attic, but they're not sure how yet.
Now, some people like those firefighters you saw just now are forced to work in these extremely cold conditions.
Fox 18's Dan Wells is live to explain how they are protecting themselves this morning and how we can protect ourselves. It's going to be very cold out there.
Absolutely. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Rob. You know, we're talking about police, firefighters, garbage truck attendants, you name it. People are out in these elements, and I can tell you just from personal experience, it is cold this morning. You know, you talked about that fire up in Forest Park. We were with those guys for so much of the morning, and we're going to kind of tell you their story coming up in the next half hour, but I can tell you and give you kind of a sneak peek that I talked to one of the captains up there who approached me with turnout gear that was completely frozen. Completely frozen. So again, crews out here are dealing with a lot, and that's why we want to give you some information this morning. So if you are headed out in these elements, you are protected. Take a look at this graphic. Really important information for you this morning, specifically when we have cold conditions. You want to wear insulated boots or other footwear to keep your extremities protected. Keep a change of dry clothes available in case work clothes become wet. You know, in the case of those firefighters, that was definitely the case. And do not wear tight clothing. Loose clothing allows better ventilation. It doesn't really seem to make sense, but that is what experts have been telling us all morning long, and that will keep you safe in temperatures that are approaching right now 0 degrees here in the tri-state. You know, we're talking about people that have to be in these elements. Another story is the homeless population here in Cincinnati, and for that angle, we're going to send it over to Fox 19's Kelly Rippin, who is live in Queensgate for us this morning. Good morning to you, Kelly.
Good morning, Dan. You mentioned we're at sub-zero temperatures, but the wind this morning is absolutely brutal out here. And we're currently at the Butternut Bread facility, or what was the Butternut Bread facility. It will soon be home to the drop-in center. Right now, they still reside in their over-the-Rhine location at 12th and Elm. But in about 15 to 18 months, they're going to make this entire building a new drop-in center, twice the size of the facility that they were using over and over the Rhine. This has 60,000 square feet, and they're going to completely gut the inside of the building, remove all of that machinery that was used when it was the Butternut Bread facility, and customize this to make it as beneficial for the people of the homeless people of the Cincinnati area, and also the resources that help the homeless here in Cincinnati. They actually just tweeted out a couple of minutes ago that there are roughly 1,200 homeless people a night in this area. Once this facility is completed, it will house 150 beds for men, but it will also expand for the emergency shelter that they can bring people in under days that are just like this. We are live this morning in Queensgate. Kelly Rippin, Fox 19 Balance News.
All right, thanks so much, Kelly.
You know, a weekly survey showing a growing number of flu cases. 6 children and dozens of adults have already died in the U.S. The H1N1 strain is the most common strain of the flu this year. The CDC saying young adults will be the most susceptible. A lot of schools are closed because of the cold this morning, and we want to know how you're spending the day off.
Yeah, please send us your pictures and just tell us how you're keeping warm, maybe with some hot cocoa by the fire, cuddling up close to your puppy or your kitty. You can tweet us or write on Facebook using the hashtag Trust19. To some other news now, 3 Minnesota brothers are the king of snow builders. This is a great photo. Check it out. This 16-foot shark made out of snow. They began piling snow in the beginning of December, and then they spent 95 hours building it. In previous years, the brothers made a pufferfish and a walrus, so they're obviously sticking with some type of oceanic theme here.
I like it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Moviegoers must have had their winter weather on their mind this weekend because Disney's Frozen retaking the top spot at the box office.
Okay.
The movie has now brought in more than $600 million. You know, Tracy's seen this and she said it was really, really good.
Yeah, she always talks about it.
I thought she was crazy, but she's not alone.
Maybe we should go see it.
It actually is the 7th week the movie has been available to the public, which makes it odd the movie is #1, because usually these days a movie will open up at #1 but won't hold that spot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of big name movies
reclaim it,
that came out. I mean, there was what, some 11, 14 releases Christmas
Wolf
week.
of Wall Street, right?
Yeah,
American Hustle.
but a lot of them are good, but they haven't really broken that top 5 yet.
Let's take a look at our web video. It's a 4-year-old singing "Let It Go" from the movie Frozen.
What is this?
By mountain night, for blended scenes, up to my elation.
It's good for 4.
It looks like I'm a tween.
That's cute, but it's crazy, right?
It is funny. I'm not even gonna hate because I used to do the same thing with Little Mermaid when I was a kid, and I know my mom had to endure this, so.
Yeah, but it looks real.
She was synced up to the cartoon very, very
She's doing
well.
very well.
Do we ever see her? I'm gonna ask the producer in the control room. Do we ever see this young girl? Oh, it's all voiceover. I want to know who she is. Little Ella is all we know.
Good job, Ella.
Oh my gosh. We're all like fascinated by
That is
it.
hilarious. You can see the full video on YouTube.
See, that's what you do on a day like today when it's so good. You can sit there and you look at YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's take a look at Rob's Riddle prize. If you play this week, you win 4 tickets to Cincinnati's Wedding Showcase.
Cool.
For 1919deals.com.
Meteorologist Frank Marzullo and Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather.
Hey, you're looking live right now from Queensgate at a tree. And the reason we're on this tree is because we need a little contrast there. And right there, see right there? If you like snowflakes, there you go. This is not going to do anything, no big deal, no problems for you. But you can see a few of those light snowflakes in and around the metro area. But Storm Tracker Doppler radar, not even picking up anything. So any moisture we see today is very light. Just some flurries in the air. Dry flurries, too, with this very cold air out and about. We're 1 below right now. When you factor in the wind, I'll show you the wind chills in a second. But 1 below, that's your temperature, Middletown. This number continues to fall. 2 above CVG, 3 above Lunkin Airfield. Our wind chill factors this morning, check them out. 24 degrees below zero, Middletown. It's 17 below Lunkin. It's 19 below CVG and 15 below in and around Batavia. These wind chills will continue to plummet through the day. Just looking at this map, it's cold. These are air temperatures. 13 below in Chicago, the Windy City. Man, oh man, they have over a foot of snow on the ground too. 11 below Indianapolis, 8 below Fort Wayne. We're 2 Cincinnati. The below zero temperatures continue to march themselves eastbound, and we will be below zero here officially at the airport and in the city by noontime. 4 below by noon, 6 below at 4, 7 below at 7. Oh man, thinking something hearty for dinner tonight, right? 28 below is your feels like temperature here by 4 o'clock, 30 below by 7 here this evening. It's 40 past 7. Layer on up. I don't got to tell you that. Just do it. You know, it's one of those things, common sense type of weather here, folks. Let's get to Denise Johnson. She's watching your morning commute, sponsored by CarStar. And how we looking, Denise?
Well, you know what? So far, so good. We've had a few issues around the tri-state this morning dealing with another new accident. Now, this is up on 275 or around 275. It's not on 275 Hamilton at Waycross. So if you're approaching 275, you're going to run into some problems there. We had an earlier accident right around 275 in Colerain. Starting to see delays. 71, 75 as you're heading in from Kyle's on down to the bridge. Let's jump out and take a live look. Got a 4-shot pulled up for you just to give you a wide view. Jumping over onto 71 right around the Kenwood Town Center. Things picking up a little bit there in both directions. 471 heading inbound. No delays just yet, so that's good news. 75 right up around Newman Way heading in that southbound direction. No issues. And we already looked at 71, 75, starting to see that slow down as well. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Denise. Good morning once again, everyone. Happening today across the tri-state, the Cincinnati officer accused of sexting a police explorer expected in court. Prosecutors say Darrell Beavers exchanged inappropriate photos with a 17-year-old girl. If convicted, he could spend 8 years behind bars.
And the Budget and Finance Committee meets today at City Hall to discuss a tax budget. The meeting is open to the public. It starts at 1 this afternoon. Happening today across the region, Cleveland's Horseshoe Casino closed. The casino closed at 3 this morning because of the winter weather in the area. Thistledown Casino is still open.
And today in Louisville, fans will officially say goodbye to football coach Charlie Strong. At noon today, Strong will be announced as the new head coach at the University of Texas. Louisville's AD is looking for a replacement. And today across the nation, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers releasing a study on how the Great Lakes can be protected from Asian carp. Take a look at that. The fish have already infested the Mississippi River, and many fear the fish could have a devastating impact on the Great Lakes native fish.
That is a wild video there.
It's amazing, right?
Well, the BCS title game is tonight in college football. Florida State takes on Auburn. Right now, the Seminoles are a favorite to win their first title since 1999. Florida State's quarterback, Jameis Winston, is fresh off winning the Heisman. I said that wrong.
Jameis,
sorry. All right, well, millions of people hit by huge malware, a huge attack apparently.
Yeah.
The problem's after visiting yahoo.com next.
And guess what? We're seeing some slick spots now. There is a live look. That street is snow covered. We're going to visit with Tom Narker. He is behind the wheel in the Storm Tracker and tell you what you can expect as you head out on the roadways today.
Fox 19 Storm Tracker weather is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places.
Good morning, everyone. It is 7:46. There is a live look at Perfect North slopes. As you can see, they're making snow.
Wow, that looks cold.
It does
right?
look cold. It has suspended operations today because of the cold weather and the windy conditions. We also learned that the Anderson Ferry has suspended its operations for the same reasons.
Wow. Bitterly cold temps causing some problems.
Well, I mean, and it has been such a steady decline since 4 o'clock this morning. We were at 13 above. Now we're basically at a goose egg at 0. Wind chill temperatures at 19, 20 below. So a lot of folks will wake up and go, yeah, you know what? There was all that snow, right? Well, you know, the scenarios were a little bit of rain.
Sure.
Thinking more snow yesterday. We were. I'm not going to lie to you. But once we saw Saturday, that warm air really surging on in, it changed over to all rainfall. But the cold air aspect of this has never changed. So what we were talking about last week about dangerously cold air, it has arrived.
The thing is like, if we saw that rain today at this time, it'd be all snow.
Yeah,
we'd be buried.
Walking back from the game yesterday in that rain, I was wishing it was snow.
You know what? Some people tweeted me and they said, you know what? At least we didn't get all that snow they got in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
so
they got.
Let's just be happy about that.
10 inches of snow.
Do we have any snowmakers headed our way?
You know, maybe a little bit of light snow Thursday or Wednesday night into Thursday morning could give us some slick spots.
Yeah, I was going to say we were lucky we didn't wind up with just a sheet of ice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that's true too.
Well, the nice thing is the wind started to pick up, and once the rain stopped, the temperature didn't fall so quickly. The wind picked up; it was able to dry.
And just so you know, I mean, we talked about it earlier.
Shot there.
I pulled on my car door. Yeah. Like, had to pull on it hard, like
Me
4
too.
times to open it. In fact, I thought it was locked.
Right,
And it wasn't. It was just stuck because it's just so cold and was so wet.
Yeah.
3 below right now, Middletown. That's not a wind chill. That's an air temperature. And look at those winds, 27 miles per hour right now.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that's not a computer data that's from an hour ago. That's real time. That's live. It's happening now. You can always get a look at our Skycam network at fox19.com and our mobile weather app. In fact, let's stay on this shot for a second. I'm going to funnel through a few of our cameras this morning. We'll take you downtown where temperatures are falling too. Whoa, that would be nice. 409 degrees. Yeah, that camera actually malfunctioning. You can see that. That would be very nice, though. That would feel toasty compared to where we're at. Springdale, 2 below. Maple Knoll Communities camera now with a wind at 13 miles per hour. Let me take you to Florence, 1 below right now. Fogged up camera there. Kings Island, our Banshee camera, 4 below with a northwest wind. Imagine riding a roller coaster today. You're going to be talking about wind chills at 60 below zero on your skin. Just dangerously cold. Give yourself extra time. Don't try to overdo it here today. You're running in and out of the mall. You're running into the work, into the office. You know, travel's okay, but not prolonged periods out there. 4 below is what it feels like on the skin. My, oh, my. 2 above right now, our temperature at our international airport with a wind chill of 19. We look at the numbers. We're 0 Mesa now, 2 Alexandria, 5 Dry Ridge. Wind chill factors at 21 below Coleraine, 20 below Alexandria, 19 below Falmouth. Bottom line, folks, put this into perspective for you. It's not a day where temperatures rebound. It's a day where temperatures continue to fall. 7 below is where we're going to be for a good portion of the afternoon hours. We're 25 below with the wind chill, and then 35 below here overnight tonight. It is going to be quite cold. Layer on up. Last time we were this cold, Wildcat fans, you won the NCAA basketball championship. That's right, beat Syracuse out. Got to go all the way back to 1996 the last time. Radar and satellite this morning showing some of those flurries off to the east, and that's really about it. Had a couple flurries downtown, too. Nothing substantial. 1 degree in Cincinnati, 10 below Indianapolis as that colder air continues to funnel in. We take a look with the jet stream now dipping well to our south. I mean, we're just ushering in. I mean, we're looking at 23 earlier this morning, below zero in Minneapolis. You know, you're 40-some degrees below zero in portions of Canada. That cold Arctic air is coming our way and continues to funnel on in. Notice, though, we stay dry next couple days, next 2 days, minus a flurry. This is Wednesday night. Out ahead of a warm front, some moisture moving in. We'll mix in with that colder air. I do expect some light snow Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Could give us some isolated slick spots. 8 degrees, few flakes on this Tuesday, tomorrow. Otherwise, sun cloud mix. 12 below is your wind chill. Wind chill factors tomorrow, some 35 below in the morning. 12 below is the air temperature. Getting into Wednesday, 28 degrees. Thursday, 32. Some light snow around on Thursday morning. Gives us a couple slick spots, but then we warm up. 40 degrees Friday. 45 on Saturday, 50 on Sunday. Mother Nature's quite moody right now. These temperature swings, I tell you what. Saturday, 45, 50 on your Sunday. It's 51 after 7. Layer on up, friends. Here's Denise Johnson. She's tracking our traffic. Sponsored by CarStar. Denise.
Well, Frank, we're just glad that cold stuff isn't going to stick around. Right now, the interstates and the highways looking pretty good as far as heading out around the tri-state. Really not seeing any issues right now. If you're heading inbound, 71, 75 traffic is going to be lighter with a lot of closings today. And really right now, only 9 minutes. It was up to 11. You were a little slower heading in that northbound direction. Not seeing any problems. 71, not looking too bad. You can see the road is dry there, covered with that salt. It's really helped keep it dry, but there are icy patches, so just be careful. 275 right around Hamilton. There was an earlier accident. A car went off the road right around Colerain, just a little bit further back. So again, don't let it fool you. Again, there's icy patches out there, but the interstate's all looking very good. Now, Tom Narker is out in the storm tracker, and he's taking a look at some of those side roads and back streets. So we're going to go out to Tom and see how things are looking out there.
Thanks, Denise. As you saw earlier today, 75, the highways, the much traveled areas, they're doing okay. You can get through, but these side streets on here on Purcell Avenue and Lehman Road, and you can see this is just some thick ice and, really dangerous conditions here, especially when you see this hill I'm going up. We've seen a couple cars that have just pretty much had to punch it. The tires are spinning. They're just trying to get up the hill. I've seen other times where people have just had to give up, turn around and go back. And, really when you're going down the hills, coming into intersections, that's where the danger is going to be. So obviously, when you're living around these back streets, these side streets, especially with the hills and the intersections, you're going to see this frozen over. Take your time and make sure you give yourself enough time to get where you're going to need to be, because you're really going to have to slow it up when you're coming up to some of the intersections and going up and down the hills. Let's go ahead and get things back in the studio.
Hey, Tom, I got a question for you. Again, what neighborhood is that, and how many times have you run into streets that are covered with snow and ice like that?
Bad.
I'm right off of Glenway Avenue, kind of close to the Glenway Park there, and you really don't see it so much until you get to these side streets. They really didn't, get the treatment down. Maybe didn't get iced as well. And, it's really the side streets is where you're really seeing this. And actually, a little bit before, we were going down a hill towards the light. We felt it a little bit of a slip and slide, so we went ahead and just took it extremely, extremely slow. It took us at least a minute or two just to go about 20 feet, just because we didn't want to slide into the oncoming traffic there on Glenway Avenue. And that's how bad some of these side streets really get.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Tom Narker is going to be in the storm tracker all morning long. He'll tell you what the road conditions are like before you head on out this morning.
Yeah, be
Tom,
careful
thanks.
on those secondary streets and neighborhood roads. New this morning, South Korea's president calling for the reunion of families separated by the Korean War. The reunions were supposed to begin in September. The South hopes families will be back together later this month for the Lunar New Year. And new this morning, Secretary of State John Kerry says the United States will support Iraq's fight against militants.
Yeah, the militants who have ties to al-Qaeda have already overrun 2 cities. Gunmen have largely taken over the cities of Fallujah and Ramadi. At least 20 people have been killed, but Kerry says the U.S. has no intention of sending troops back to Iraq.
We are not obviously contemplating returning. We're not contemplating putting boots on the ground. This is their fight, but we're going to help them in their fight. And yes, we have an interest. We have a interest in helping the legitimate and elected government be able to push back against terrorists.
The uprising is a result of a power struggle between Sunni and Shiite-dominated government. Republican lawmakers say the administration's decision to pull troops out of Iraq has only stoked the violence. A 9-year-old boy is dead after drowning in Claremont County. He fell into a pond on Hopewell Road in Franklin Township. 2 other children were there, but they weren't hurt. EMS units rushed aboard to the hospital in Brown County, where he later died. His name is not being released until family members can be notified.
Well, have you heard about this? I actually heard Frank getting a little bit upset about this earlier. Chez Nora in Covington is closed. The restaurant at 6 and Main Streets in Mainstrasse Village were the first to allow drinks on the sidewalk outside. It had been open for about 20 years.
And new this morning, millions of people were hit with malware. Ads from Yahoo are redirecting users to sites that will install different viruses. One IT expert estimates that 29,000 computers per hour are being affected. Yahoo saying it's aware of the problem and is working to fix it.
All right, take a look at this. This is probably one of my favorite
this?
stories of the morning. Okay, so we have a lot of gaming fans in our newsroom here.
Sure.
And I saw this on the internet yesterday. It's a urinal made out of Super Nintendo games.
Oh, cool.
It was on Craigslist. They're trying to sell it. And they said that, all the cartridges have been sealed properly and it works fine. So if you're interested, on Craigslist.
Might want to check it out.
Maybe.
Good morning, everyone. We have much more straight ahead, including Holtman's Donuts. That's going to be delicious. Make sure you keep it right here as the Fox 19 Morning News continues on this cold Monday morning.
We'll be right back.